Are you listening? Damn. Uh. Yeah. Uh. Yeah.
The OnePlus 3 is a grown-up, solid design. With a body carved out of a single piece of aluminum, it has that substantial feel that you get from high-end devices. The design is not something new or original per se. The body looks a lot like an HTC phone, the camera is similar to that of Huawei phones, but we don't get a feel that OnePlus tried to clone a particular device, and it all comes together well. Now, in terms of physical size, the OnePlus 3 is not the smallest 5.5-inch phone, but it's not as large as the iPhone 6s Plus either, so it's fairly compact for its screen size. The OnePlus 3 features a 5.5-inch optic AMOLED display with a resolution of 1080 by 1920 pixels or Full HD. Put simply, the OnePlus 3 screen is not nearly as sharp as other modern Android phones, especially when you look at the high end. And then what is this strange new optic AMOLED screen technology, you might wonder? Well, don't worry, you haven't missed the next revolution in display manufacturing. It turns out that optic AMOLED seems to be no more than a marketing term that OnePlus uses to describe its specific calibrations to the gamma, and put simply, this is one of the worst display on the phone that has some serious ambitions recently. The white color on the OnePlus 3 looks unnaturally blue, and colors as a whole are way overblown, resulting in nearly neon-like colors. And interestingly, there is a pre-applied screen protector on the OnePlus 3, but while we do appreciate having it, the protector itself seems to be a bit too narrow, so it does not cover fully the screen. So while we did have to criticize a lot about the display on the OnePlus 3, the clean interface and fast performance of the phone left us quite impressed. The OnePlus 3 features Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow pre-installed, and on top of that is the light Oxygen OS interface by OnePlus. For the most part, it feels like using a Nexus stock Android phone. We have the same material design all throughout with quick to the point animations, but there are some key additions, and customization options are absolutely amazing on the OnePlus 3. First, you can set quick shortcuts to open particular actions when you double press or long press the home, recent and back button. Go into settings and buttons to do that. For instance, we've now set our OnePlus 3 to quickly launch the camera when you double tap on the home screen and open voice search when you long press the home button, which is quite nice. The OnePlus 3 is also encrypted by default, which is another nice touch. It features the Snapdragon 820, the most powerful chip by Qualcomm and the most powerful chip on Android currently, and that means that it's fast. The phone indeed runs very smoothly in different situations. Then we have that 6GB of RAM situation, and this has a lot to do with marketing. Having the first mass market phone with 6GB of RAM gives it a lot of publicity. But in real life, now OnePlus has some troubles with RAM management, so it doesn't utilize those 6GB to their full potential. Hopefully this will get fixed with a software update. We're also tremendously happy to see a plentiful 64GB of storage as the base and only option for the OnePlus 3, while Apple is still insulting users with 16GB of storage for base models on the twice as expensive iPhone 6s Plus, and Samsung offers good but not great 32GB, the OnePlus 3 outdoes them all, and with 4K video on board and ever-growing collection of music and a ton of heavy photos, this definitely feels like a step forward. Now, what about 4G LTE connectivity? Good news is that the OnePlus 3 comes in 3 models, one for the North American market, another one for Europe, and another one for Asia, and the North American market will support AT&T and T-Mobile with all their MVNOs, but it will not work on Verizon and Sprint. In Europe, it will work on all major carriers. It also covers the crucial Band 20, which is nice, and it's also worth saying that the OnePlus 3 brings back the NFC connectivity with the NFC chip, so you can use this phone for Android Pay, which is a nice solution for wireless payments. But what about camera quality? Now, this is the area where most affordable phones make a huge compromise. They don't have a great camera. This is not the case with the OnePlus 3. It features a 16-megapixel camera with a smaller sensor than most Android phones in the high-end segment, but still it's a very good camera. Up front we have an 8-megapixel selfie shooter that is also exceptional. Now, image quality is absolutely great. We have no major complaints. The dynamic range is there, exposure is good, colors are represented very well in most conditions and images turn out quite sharp even in low light. There is that slight oversaturation, but we see this also on Galaxies and on iPhones, so that's something that is considered kind of normal, and there are no issues like even the Galaxy S7 has that issue with over sharpening images. There is no such issue here on the OnePlus 3. What about the built-in single LED flash? It's strong, but we don't recommend using it. It introduces a nasty green color cast to images, and the front-facing cameras captures selfies with a lot of detail and very nice dynamics. They look very good. Video quality, you have 4K UHD at 30 frames per second. It looks good but not great. The phone features optical image stabilization and digital stabilization, but together those are not the perfect combination. They don't stabilize video footage that well, and when you're walking around you see that not noticeable jerkiness to the footage. Otherwise, focusing is fast and detail is not as sharp as we would have liked, but still good but not great. What about battery life? That one crucial element that every smartphone these days has to get right. Well, the OnePlus 3 features a 3000 mAh non-removable battery that powers the whole system. Unfortunately, it's not great. It's not even good. This phone is below average. It scored poorly on our battery test with 5 hours and 53 minutes, which puts it on par with the worst performing devices this year like the LG G5. But it has a hidden ace up its sleeve, and that is the new Dash Charge technology, which will be able to replenish your battery in basically no time. So even if you have just half an hour during lunchtime to recharge your phone, you can plug it in and you get 63% of juice back. At the end of the day, some 2 years after launching with a loud bang, the OnePlus company is still going strong. Has done away with the invite shenanigans and allows you to buy the OnePlus 3 on the day that it launched. The price of $400 for this unlocked phone with the Snapdragon 820 chip is simply outstanding. It's one of the best deals you can get, period. However, you should also know that this is not exactly a flagship killer. The OnePlus 3 strong points are performance, which feels fast and fluid, the plentiful storage and the fast and well-performing camera, but it does fall short in two key areas. The display quality is definitely subpar and battery life is not great. But at the end of the day, OnePlus 3 does seem to have finally nailed it. It's in many ways like an HTC phone. Great design without much flair, but it gets the job done. And at $400, that's quite special.